I remember the first time I ever held my son. He was beautiful. I didn't hear angels herald his birth. There was no immaculate conception, but I swear there must have been hay bales or something because he looked perfect. And I was useless against his charms, against those big blue eyes that for a year and a half I prayed would change colour, so he'd resemble me in the slightest. But now 4 years on, those blue eyes I love scared. The first time I drove him home from the hospital, I would have made nanas look like boy racers. I was that careful, so convinced that my son was different, that he was special. I'm sure every parent thinks that, but they're wrong. My son is special. I always thought of my son as a miracle child, because despite the 3 times medical professionals advised he wouldn't survive the pregnancy, he did. Amazed at how something not even 14 weeks could now mean the most important thing to me, but he survived the ultrasound revealing heartbeats because he was my miracle child. Someone at work, she tried to comfort me. She said, "Don't worry, Zane. Me and my husband went through 5 miscarriages before our daughter was born." I didn't have the heart to tell her that my son had survived. We called him Paora, a name translated from Māori into English meaning Paul, Paora, a name translated from Greek and Hebrew texts into our cultural context. Paul was an apostle in the Bible, who just like me believed in a God that would embody the body of a nobody and then deny the somebody so one day he'd become somebody. We called him Paora, just to piss off every one of his teachers who can't roll their R's. Stink eye, I know. So everyone who mispronounces his name will remind my son that he is cut from a slightly different cloth. Paora, not Paora or Paora, but the name given to him by my own mother's family, whose dark skin should remind him that he is Māori, even if he needs more SPF than anyone else I've ever met. Mamai, Pōwhiri, Karanga. The first time his extended family extended their arms around his body was at a tangi. We played pass to pass with him, and his blue eyes cut through the blackest of days as if my son's rays reminded people of sunny days. He was healing in that place tiny at only 4 pounds 9, a reminder of new beginnings and second chances with his cries. Salty tears fell from wrinkled faces, and in those tears my son was baptized. You see, every night before I put my son to bed, I put his head in my palm, I press his nose against mine, I inhale and fill my lungs, and I think, perfect, and I think, miracle child, and I think, thank you, he survived.